Hey YouTubers, JB Coins here with another Sunday Fun Day live stream. And we'll wait until some folks get here. I see one head popped up in the head count. Tony, looks like you might be first. Welcome. Bill, welcome. Hope you guys had a good weekend. This should be a real full, although my screen is only showing a couple so far. Bob, welcome. Mr. A, welcome. Jonathan Smunko, welcome. Antonio Choholan Chai. I hope I said that right. Welcome. Peggy Smith, welcome. 25 Mandabear, welcome back. And thank you. Okay, so now my station is set and up and running, and I can kind of get into my little routine here. All right, so I've said hi to a lot of folks already. We're already up to 33 folks watching and 4 thumbs up. So that tells us that there's some folks that already understand the program. We play a game here on Sunday. You're going to hear us repeat it several times, and you're going to hear some of the folks that are logging in and during the course of the stream, they'll contribute. Whack-a-mole, hit that like button, you know, that kind of thing. Jim, welcome. And right now we've got 13 likes out of 36 watching, for example. Mr. X-Man, welcome. Steven, welcome. What is a 95D missing the copper coating? That would be that would be an error. That would be you're missing a clad layer is what it's called. And so if the zinc layer is exposed and it's missing the copper coating, then you have a partly zinc missing clad layer is what it's really called. You probably want to get that sent off to like Annex or possibly Mr. Wexler to get attribution, but that's a solid error coin. 1958, welcome. Mohawk Joe, welcome. So anyway, 36 watching, 19 thumbs up so far. The way we play this is we have our drawing every week. And the rules, if you will, or the way you can enter, one of the ways you can enter is on a piece of paper on the right side of the screen. It's $5 per entry, one winner for the drawing. This week we do not have a choice 1, choice 2. Stephen, Peggy, and Louise, welcome. But what we do is when we get 100 thumbs up or likes, we give away a free entry. And also we're going to do it again at 150. We offered it last week. We came just shy of making it. So if when we make 100 thumbs up, we will go through a process that will explain when we get a little closer to it. But we will, the person who wins that gets a free entry as if they paid $5 and bought an entry, but they don't have to spend a dime. We get to 150 thumbs up, we will do it again and we'll issue a second free entry. Both of those people will have the same chance as anybody else that buys an entry to today's drawing. But the way we have to get there is we play whack-a-mole, which is hit the like button till it turns blue. If you hit it more than once, you'll actually cancel yourself out. If you accidentally hit the thumbs down, you can hit it again and cancel it out and turn it back into a thumbs up. But the sooner we get to 100, the sooner that we get to give away the free entry. Mallory, welcome. Making dinner, so I'm not going to be chatting, but you're going to be watching. Oh, okay. One of those. All right. Anyway, Mallory knows the rules and how we play. And what we have today is, as I said, different. Bill picked up a set of the 2009 P&D Satin Finish Lincolns. Awesome, dude. Way to go. Those things are very, very cool. We got some, and they are very rare and collectible, and we did a video on that. Check it out. You really want to get them. Jonathan Smelko, $5 on PayPal. Thank you, Jonathan. Good opportunity for me to explain. The viewers, the subscribers of our channel, JB Coins family, we call it, actually came up with an alternative to Super Chat being the only way to enter. Hey Jennings, hey Rogue. It's $5 an entry either way, Super Chat or PayPal. On PayPal, you can go in there and you can send it to our PayPal account at jbcoinsinc.com, select gift or send money to family and friends. You can also put a message in there because it's going to give us your billing information, your personal information, and how much you donated. So if you don't want us to put that name out on the chat, on the internet basically, for example, we use Rogue. If you want it to be Rogue and not your real name, you put a note down there saying, please call it me, please announce it as Rogue. Here's what we're donating. Or you can actually make a statement or question, something like that in there too. So that's kind of a nice feature there. And there are no fees if you do it that way. Julie C., welcome. Alan Tiffany, welcome. Louise, welcome. Glad you're new to the channel. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Anna as well, welcome back. So the nice thing that the viewers came up with was that if you do it that way, whatever you send, PayPal as an alternative. But to us, we will accept either one, Super Chat or PayPal. Some people don't have a choice. That's all they can do. We're cool with that. Either way, it supports the channel and it helps us, allows us to go out and buy stuff and get stuff for the channel, for giveaways, that kind of stuff. Liked and subscribed. Thank you, Louise. And welcome to the JB Coins family. You'll learn what that really means, those of you new folks, over the course of this. And today's going to be an example of that as we get into it. Today, I'm not going to be unrolling any coins. I usually am unrolling coins while we're having the discussion of how you do the contest and trying to answer folks' questions and covering a few other things at the same time. So, Peggy, 2009 penny, is it an error or it has a memorial? No, 2009 was a set of commemorative pennies, and on the back of each penny is a different stage of Lincoln's life. The log cabin, his early childhood with him sitting on a split rail fence reading the Bible, that has, almost all of them have some varieties or errors on them, but there are 4 different versions of him on the back. And then 2010, they went to the shield. 2008 was the last memorial. And so, check out the video that we've got on that, and it'll explain the difference in the satin pennies for 2009 and the regular pennies, because they're a level above the regular 2009s. Martin Vasquez, welcome. John Francis, welcome. Peggy, yeah, yours has the memorial. On a 2009, it shouldn't. Let's see. Mohawk Joe, should we cut individual coins out or ship them for grading? It depends, man. Jennings Kazide, subscribe. Thanks for all the knowledge, brother. You're welcome, absolutely, and thank you for subscribing. Joe, it depends on how you're sending them. If they're coming from a set, you have the option, depending on the grading company, it's best to ask which grading company you're going to use, whether they prefer you send the entire set or whether they prefer that you, take the coin out. Most of them have told us in the past, leave the coin in the set, mark the one you want us to grade, and in some cases, mark the ones that you don't want us to grade. One of our subs today got 3 sets of the reverse, 2 or 3 sets of the reverse San Francisco that just came out, and he already sent us an email saying that he took the whole mint package, the box that it came in with all the original packaging from the mail, didn't even open that, and just shipped the whole thing to the grading company and said, grade them all. So there's a lot of folks that do that. In fact, the guys you see on TV, the big dealers, they buy hundreds and thousands of sets like that, and they just ship them all and say, grade them all. So let's see. Tony, welcome. Jim, welcome. Wayne, welcome. Okay, so today's discussion, as we posted on the title and like we talked about earlier, was what does everybody think about the the new law that was signed that authorizes the new $1 coins? And myself and Salivate Metal came out with videos probably a couple of hours apart, I think. And he had one portion of the bill, and I went to the law, and both of us came out before the Mint came out with a press release. So there's slight deviations between our two versions of what we think is going to happen. And now the Mint has changed their press release, or I missed a line in it. And so there's parts that Sal got right, and there's parts that I got right. But as I've said to him on his video, I thought he did a great video on it. His was out a couple hours before ours, and I think he got a couple things right. I got a couple things right. But the point I made was, we're dealing with the government and we're dealing with the Mint. And so we all know how many times the Mint does things on their own, for their own purposes, for their own benefit. So we kind of need to see, like Steven's saying, I want to see photos of the coins. Yeah, we kind of have to see what they really actually do. And it's a good point, Steven, because the one thing that's consistent in all the versions that I've seen, and with Sal and myself and the Mint, is that the first coin will come out. And I was actually wrong on the first coin coming out. I thought it was going to be the first of the year. I actually missed that. The first coin will be the George Washington coin with Liberty on one side, and with the patent, the very first patent, signed by George Washington. That will be issued the end of this year sometime. And then the first of the year, they'll start up with 4 a year after that, like they did with the presidents. So I said some version of that, but it keeps changing, government. Ken posted up the link here. The text of H.R. 770 states no busts or likenesses. Has that changed in the final version? Do you show a telephone or Alexander Graham Bell? Yeah, it sounds like that there's going to be some deviation from that, because the final bill that was passed said that it will be the Statue of Liberty on the obverse. That's very clear. They have not said whether it'll be the Statue of Liberty exactly. It can't be exactly like what's on the back of the Sacagawea dollar, or what used to be on the back of that, because it calls out for specific wording that doesn't exist there. George Washington riding a horse, that'd be pretty, yeah, that's only been done. But you never know. I mean, the Danbury Mint to pre-order them yesterday. No, that is not the only way to get them. They're actually going to be produced by the U.S. Mint. Anybody else that sells them is going to be selling them on the secondary market. The real coins are going to be U.S. Mint issued, and they'll start with that George Washington. If you read the bill or the press release, it has a picture of the very first patent 0000001 for an improvement of how to process, I believe, flour, signed by George Washington himself, issuing the first patent for that process, which is really cool, and his handwriting's gorgeous. And that's going to be on the reverse of the very first coin, 2018. After that, it gets a little interesting and a little dicey, because Sal had that it was going to be in the same order as the state coins, in the order that they came into the Union. What I read in the bill was that they were going to come in alphabetically, starting with Alabama. It specifically had that language and said it would start with Alabama after the George Washington coin. The Mint website now has, as of tonight when we started, has a press release that says they will be in the order they joined, either ratified the Union ratified the Constitution, excuse me, for their state, or joined the Union, whichever came first. That's the order that they will come out. So probably something like what the state quarters did in terms of order. They also allowed that any, and you can watch our video on this, any territory or any states that join the Union during the period of time that these coins are being issued will be entitled to have a coin made for them. So if Puerto Rico comes in as a state, or if DC becomes a state, or I mentioned in the video, if California becomes 3 states, extra coins. So that's already in the mechanics of the law. But again, we're dealing with the government. Until the coins come out, there's a lot that we don't know. Ken, let's see. Early America was an agricultural nation. Mechanization came about, lots of innovation. The Industrial Revolution, more innovation than electronics, medicine, and the information age. Very well put in a very short sentence. Yeah, we were no different than, our relatives back in 1800 were closer to their ancestors for the last 1,000 years in Europe that they escaped to come here for than they are to us. And even people that lived in 1900, when the Industrial Revolution was really getting going, were really very far removed from us. I was very fortunate to know people in my family that were born in Europe before electricity, before airplanes, before light bulbs, before telephones, and when we landed on the moon, they thought we were crazy. Because in their lifetime, they had gone from nothing and being just like their ancestors from 1,000 years ago. In their lifetime, they went all the way to landing on the moon. Okay, so it's already 20 after. I'm getting poked at here that we'll continue the discussion, but I need to cover the drawing and what's special about the drawing. Thanks to everybody that's contributed so far, but let's put that on hold. Let's explain this stuff really quickly because it's very important and very cool. We got to get to 100 likes, that's for sure. So we can give away the free drawing today for that, to enter into today. And also, if we get to the 150, then we'll issue another free drawing into today's drawing. 57 bucks. Yesterday was my dad's birthday, so we bought a lottery ticket. We got some change, and then the change was a star note. Very cool, and very cool for catching it. That's checking your change, man. Don't forget to smash the like button, or you won't remember. Exactly, Ken. So, anyway, you see this big pile on the table. This is one drawing. We're not doing 1 or 2 this week like we usually do, where you have choice. Everything on the table goes. Here's what makes this interesting. There's really 2 batches of coins here. I'll start at the top. We had put together what we were going to put in the drawing this week. And so we have a $2 Federal Reserve note from 2013. It's a current issue type bill. And it's a $2 bill, brand new issue, the way you would get one from the bank today. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a difference on these. The next one is a 1963 series red seal instead of a green seal. And the back is Monticello, not the Declaration of Independence being signed. So we had put this in for today's drawing, and we had put in what's called a blue Eisenhower, or blue Ike, because of the blue wrapper. This is an uncirculated 1971. This is an S, right, baby? It's a silver. It's 40% silver, and yes, it's an S. Sorry, my mind's going too many places at once. So yeah, it's a 71 silver blue Ike. And it's got the little blue disc in there. And it's got the COA. So that was what we had pretty much started to put together. Then, for those of you guys that are regulars, and you know about one of our regulars, Scott, and what he and his grandma have been going through, we've been doing fundraisers for Scott. I did that because puppy rolled over and got on the cord. So sorry. For those of you that are new, we have a puppy. The regulars know about him. He got real sick a while back, and he just kind of lays on the floor underneath me while I'm doing this. And he decided to roll over in his sleep and catch the microphone cord and started to pull the camera down. But anyway, Rockin', welcome. If you can hold that question until I get through this explanation. Edwina, welcome. All is one, welcome. And Josh, welcome. We're gonna talk, and Mark, welcome. Leong, welcome. Josh, welcome. So we're gonna get back into the discussion of the new coins as soon as I finish explaining what's in the drawing. So we've got the red seal $2 bill silver certificate. I believe that's silver certificate. No, United States note, excuse me. Red seal. And then we have a Federal Reserve note, $2 bill, modern. We have the 71 blue Ike. That was as far as we got. Then we got an update from Scott. Dear J&B, I'm sending you some stuff to put in your next giveaway. If I win anything from you, I'll still have my P.O. box. And he gives us some information about that. But I'm enjoying my new place that I'm living in now. Please give these away. Thank you. As a thank you to everyone, Scott Lockard. So Scott, along with this note, enclosed what you see at the bottom here. And one is a copper round of George Washington in his nightcap. Either that or he's playing Santa. It's a 1 ounce copper round from Atmex. And then the other one, I didn't even realize it till we laid it out. It is a copper 1 ounce bar from Atmex, and it is the impression of the $5 Buffalo horse blanket bill, which if you had the real thing in paper, it would be worth a fortune. They're very expensive. And then this one, I have to admit, temptation crossed my path because it's a 72 uncirculated set in the original Treasury envelope, and it has Philadelphia and Denver coins that are absolutely gorgeous. And if you guys have been collecting any length of time at all, you know that there's a good chance this one has PD&S pennies, for example, in the set. There's a good chance that you could find some extra goodies in here besides the fact that these coins, several of the coins, if not all of them, look gradable. So we basically we decided to just add his on top of what we already had. So if you win today's drawing, you win all of this on the table. Scott's gift and what we originally were gonna have in the drawing. And Scott's gift is a thank you to everybody. And we decided we would just include it with what we already had because, you know, I mean, Scott has done so much for the channel, and then his grandma got sick, and he's doing so much for his grandma and working so hard. And for him to come out of pocket with these things, or out of his collection more likely, because he was feeling bad that he wasn't giving back to us while we were giving to him. Just kind of the kind of guy he is. And he's so appreciative of what we, the JB Coins family, have done for him and his grandma. And his grandma said to say hi, by the way. She's actually starting to walk a little bit, and she's actually starting to talk a little bit, I guess. So positive things, very good stuff. And so this is going to be a really cool drawing. It's a thank you from Scott. And it's also some really cool things from us as well. So yeah, it's going to be huge tonight. We got 62 watching. We got 56 thumbs up. That's a great percentage. We keep that up. We get to 100. We have one dislike. one thumbs down. That could be a mistake. We had it last week where someone hit the thumbs down by accident. And if you hit it a second time, it'll cancel it out and then you can turn it into a thumbs up. As soon as we get to 100 thumbs up, the yellow and black lettering in capitals, JB Coins Inc., will pop up on the screen and it'll say 100. You'll see everybody on the stream from the time we get about 97 putting in enter or entry. Either one is acceptable. The first name that pops up on my wife, who I call Sweetie, on Sweetie's computer behind me, to you guys, she's B. To me, she's Sweetie. I don't have to come to your house. But her computer is the, if you will, the judge computer. It's because we all have different age computers. We all have different data speeds and all that. So, and we're at the mercy of YouTube in the chat stream, that depending on whose information goes through YouTube's data stream and back out to us, it kind of randomizes the whole thing. So I have wound up with one name on my screen and her having another name on her screen and other people saying another name on their screen, and it's all because of lag within the internet and the system. So we decided a long time ago, her computer screen is the judge and jury of whatever name she sees. She'll call it out, I'll repeat it. That person gets one free entry into today's drawing, okay? Anybody else that would like to enter, like some folks have already, can enter by way of the instructions on the right. It's $5 an entry. On PayPal, it tells you how. Otherwise, you can do it as a super chat. So now that we can get back to the discussion. JB Coins, hey Logan, welcome by the way. Z Square, welcome. Brian Biggs, welcome. Josh, if I missed you, welcome. Let's see. Edwina, $10 on Super Chat. Thank you, Edwina. That's 2 entries. So if some of you are new and don't know, some of the folks that have Super Chat have a problem where if they try to put in a round number like 10, it will kick them out. And so they put $4.99, $9.99, $29.99, whatever. We just round it up and to the next even number because we know that's what they're trying to do. They just don't have any way to do it. So that's to explain to the folks that have never seen that before. Edwina knows that, we know that, everybody else that's a regular knows that, so it's cool. So you have to pay to enter, J.R. Caldwell says, yes. Yeah, you have to pay to enter the drawing or win one of the free entries like the one at 100 and the one at 150. We've had at least 3 people that have been first-time viewers that have won the free entry doing the 100 and then winning the free entry and then won a whole table full of silver. So all in the same live stream the first time they were ever here. It's happened 3 times. So, and we've been doing live streams for a year now, just over a year. So the odds are pretty good, so you don't have to, it just increases your odds. Let's see. Bill bets, yeah, me, it's 400. Yeah. Bill, I think Bill is one of those, I think that's Bill's comment that he's one of those that has that when he puts up $4.99. Yeah. Josh, you're welcome. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. So we have 68 thumbs up and 62 viewing right now, so that's cool. We need to keep growing that to get to 100. So back to the discussion. We got 2 things that came up while we were doing that real quick. Yeah, the reverse proof San Francisco are still, as of this morning, when I checked, they are still available. They did not sell out. They only sold about 100,000 the first day. They removed the household limit. That's no longer there. The max limit of 200,000 mintage is still there. So they haven't, swung the doors open, because if they're having trouble selling 200 grand, they're not going to mint beyond that. But it's another example like last year, where they announced it was sold out, then they announced it wasn't sold out, went back and forth. In this case, they're being very cautious, and they're saying it's not sold out, it's not sold out. So those are still available if you saw our video where we showed them to you and what they look like. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. Our biggest quandary is do we do like our one subscriber and take both sets we got and send them all to get graded? That would be very expensive, but they are absolutely gorgeous, and they really look like they went to the trouble this time to make the San Francisco coins look beautiful. But the main discussion today is about the new $1 coin that just got signed into law. And the question is, and my sweetie threw me a curveball, because up to this point, the discussions that I've seen since we announced this a few days back was whether or not there's nothing that we could find that said what material the coin was going to be made out of. It says it's going to be issued along with the Native American dollar. Now, it doesn't say whether or not that means they're going to just keep it and they'll be issued separately, or if they're going to do like they've done in past years, decades, where they issued, they issued a quarter and a half dollar, and that was the only way you could get the quarter. That part's unclear. They also didn't specify what metal they're going to use. So they left that out to speculation, and everybody's been going back and forth about the manganese like the Native American or presidents, or whether they would be better off going to silver and how much more desirable that would be. And it wasn't until today when my wife and I were in the car and she said, "Why haven't I heard anybody mention clad? You know, the state quarters were all clad." And I said, you know what? That's a great point. So what do you guys think about that? You know, there's some pros and cons with all three. If you really think about it, just from a numismatic value, collectability, that type of thing, which metal makes them the most collectible and the most potentially valuable? Paula Blum, $20 on Super Chat. Thank you, Paula. And that's 4 entries, and it looks like a military service photo. If so, thank you for your service. There's a whole lot of vets, including me, on here, but we won't get into war stories because I get yelled at when I do that. Real Rulers here. Hey, everybody. Just got back from fishing and can't stay, but wanted to drop a like to help you guys get to 100. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming and going, man. Appreciate the like. I think Puppy moved the camera again. Yeah, he's having a dream here. Come on, Pup. Excuse us. There you go. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt your dream, but you got to move, baby. Nope. Can't go back under there. You can tell he's trying to get back under the table and he weighs 70 pounds, so he's feeling much better. Black Steel Reserve. What's up, guys? Just made a video of the 2018 reverse proof set. Cool. We did too. Welcome to the channel. Good luck with yours. Draft or a recall, or combination. Julie C, $20 on Super Chat. Thank you, Julie. 4 entries for Julie. So we are different here. Anyway, it's ACS Coin Shop. Welcome. Let's see. Whoops. I hit the wrong button. Oh, you live in the USA. Okay. Well, then you should know, man. Black Steel, I love your channel. I always give you a shout out for inspiring me with my videos. Thank you, and good luck with yours. We'll have to check yours out. We pretty much try to follow up the folks that have their own channel. We try to give them a shout out. We try and go visit them and support them like they do us. Edwina, I agree with silver. I didn't even see silver go by, but I mentioned it. So yeah, silver has its merits. There's no question about it. If they come out as a silver, like the Sacramento set, for example, obviously it's silver. It's got intrinsic value. You're stacking silver. Granted, it's at a premium, but it's silver. But what if it's not? What if it's clad, or what if it's the manganese? Would you still buy it? Is it still collectible? Which one's going to be more valuable in 10 years? That's what we're trying to get to, because you can spin that a few different ways if you think about it. How does it affect the rarity? Mallory, $5 on Super Chat. Thank you, Mallory. Don't burn dinner. Mallory, did you get your package okay? Let's see. AC, how is the silver price right now? Right now, it is doing what it's been doing for a while. It's kind of bouncing around in the middle $15 range. It started to move up a little bit, and then it moved way down on 15 scale, and then I think it's around 1560. I think it's back in that range when it closed Friday night. Hello, JB, Elva from Fresno. Welcome, Elva. So we are at 76 thumbs up. When we get to 100, we give away the free entry to today's drawing. And Scott Lockard is in the house. How's everyone doing, he says. Scott, welcome. Glad you were able to make it, man. I already explained how Grandma's doing, but you can expand upon it. I just said that she was starting to walk a little bit and talk a little bit. And we have your gift out here as a thank you to everybody, as well as the stuff that we were going to give away. So it's a big giveaway this week. Bill Bets, $4.99, which is a $5 to us. It's one entry for Bill. Thank you, Bill. Stephen, I think silver would make them more collectible. Possibly, yeah. Initially, when they first come out for sale, I would agree with that. If they were silver, I would be more inclined to buy them myself. But if I'm going to put my collector hat on, I have to think about it. And that's why we kind of want to see where you guys go with this, because silver is the easy choice. But what do we do if it's not silver? And would it be bad if it's not silver? Would it be bad if it is silver? Anna Hutchinson, $10 on PayPal. Thank you, Anna. Karen Saint Singh, Super Chat, $10. Thank you, Karen. Ken PV, silver, $15.46 per ounce. Okay. So I was off about 14 cents. That's pretty good. Let's see. Scott, Grandma is doing great. She's been walking more and more each day. That's awesome, man. That's so awesome. Compared to the initial news when you were so down and everything, that's so awesome for both of you. We're both really happy for you. And tell her again we said hi. Let's see. All right, so let's throw this one out there. So far, we've had the argument for silver. We're at 78 thumbs up. We got to get to 100 to give the freebie away. Jim Whitaker, do you know what kind of mintage they will be? Supposedly, there's not going to be a limit, just like with the state quarters. But that could change. We don't know. DIC, I just got my first 2 silver bars from App Banks because of you. Thanks. You're welcome, man. Enjoy. You know, we like our stuff, and you know, we love silver, you know. So as you guys know, Scott, I would like to thank you all for the help and stuff you guys have done. Well, there you go, guys. He's talking to you. Let's see. Ken PV, as NIFC, I suspect no more than 2 million mintage. That's a very real possibility, and that's something that a lot of people in the discussions that I saw have missed and argued about. Is what's also in the bill is these coins are, unlike the quarters, going to be not intended for circulation, just like the Kennedy halves. They're only going to be made for us coin collectors. So Tony Corser, $20 on Super Chat. Thank you, Tony. And hey, Jim, how you doing? So there's probably going to be some sort of mintage cap like that. That's a fairly high one compared to 200,000 for the sets that just came out, if you think about it. But here's the interesting twist that I've been kind of mulling over because of this confusion. Karen raises one of the valid points that everybody talks about. Do you think the public will be using the coins, or is it more for collectors? It is only for collectors. And that seems to be, more than anything, lost on a lot of folks, or confusing a lot of folks, is this is not going to be a circulating dollar coin. Some folks have said, well, why don't they get rid of the dollar bill if they're going to come out with another dollar coin? That isn't going to work. This is not intended for that. This is intended like the Kennedy half dollars. It's strictly something the mint's going to make, and they're going to make money on it. They're the only agency of the federal government, believe it or not, that's profitable, okay? Because folks like us buy stuff from them at a marked up price, and they make a lot of money. So, Tony, you're welcome. Thank you for all your videos. Feels like family. You got it then. This is the JB Coins family, and you're part of it. Everyone here is. Scott is part of it as well. So, Mark, I can't wait for the new dollars. Rock and Silver Stacker, hey SJ. Z Squared, welcome. Ken Peavy, the U.S. Mint is the money store. Absolutely. Hey, there's SJ, welcome. So, well, Lauren, welcome. So, the dollars are going to be interesting because of that. You know, the very first dollar is going to be cool because of the patent. That one, I think, hands down, regardless of what metal it is, we're probably going to get a few of those, because that first patent, even on the image on the screen when you look it up, is really cool. His handwriting is gorgeous. Of course, you're not going to see the detail on the coin, but having the coin and having the printout of what it looks like, I kind of geek out on that kind of stuff. It's history, you know. Kevin Pack, welcome. Can we borrow money for the U.S. Mint? If you mean, can we borrow money to buy more from the U.S. Mint? Yeah, they're called credit cards. They don't need to borrow money, man. They're fully funded, and they get money from the federal budget, and they are making a profit on what they are selling us over and above that. The flip side of that is they are required by law to produce what the law says that they're going to make, such as these dollar coins, such as how many American Eagles they're going to make, and that the priority of American Eagles, for example, is that they have to make bullion coins no matter what. So there's a lot of things in play. And we're dealing with the mint, and we've done a lot of stories about the mint in the past and how they kind of play fast and loose sometimes. Now, that's been in the past. We don't know whether any shady stuff will happen, you know, in current history, but as late as the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of shady stuff going on. So let me throw a wild card out here. Since we're, 844, we're at 83 likes. We need to get 17 more to get to 100 to be able to give away a free entry. And then when we get to the point that we have done that, Sweetie will call out last call. And Scott, good point. I will refresh what we're giving away in a second here. So there's a lot of new people that are on since the last time I went down what we're giving away. We'll refresh, what we're giving away here in a second. Lauren, I'm gonna cover. I was gonna just start covering that, and then I got reminded to do something else, and then I got reminded to cover the drawing. So I've kind of lost what I was gonna switch to. Yeah, the curveball I'll talk about after I cover the drawing for everybody, and then because doing the drawing I can't do the conversation. The curveball is for the conversation. So let me go over the drawing again real quick, and then I'll get back to throwing the curveball in because I haven't seen anybody else bring it up. So with the upcoming mint. Okay, all right. So what we have for the drawing, we had already decided to put out a red seal 1963 $2 bill with Monticello on the back, and also a 2013 series $2 bill with the signing of the Declaration on the back, because a lot of people don't realize that the backs have changed. And neither one of them is a silver certificate. This is a Federal Reserve note on top. This is a United States note on the bottom. The red seal is very collectible, and it's in beautiful shape. It's in brand new condition. And the $2 bill we got from the bank and right out of a fresh strap, so that's uncirculated as well. And then we also had a 71 Blue Ike uncirculated silver dollar in the original mint packaging, 1971 S, 40%. And you can see that. And it's got, of course, the moon landing on the back. So we had this laid out to, in our minds, for today. Then we got the letter from Scott thanking everybody for their contribution to the channel, and him and his grandma, and in particular with what they're going through. And he sent us, along with the thank you note, some gifts that he wanted us to add into the drawing for this week, and kind of blew us away. The first one is a 1 ounce copper round from APMEX that he got, and it's either George Washington in his stocking cap or trying to play Santa Claus. I'm not sure which, but it's a really cool copper round, and I can't show you the back, I don't think. Yeah, I can. Okay. It's a big old snowflake on the back. Okay, really cool. I frankly hadn't even seen one of these on their website. The other is a 1 ounce copper bar, and it is a replica or an image of the $5 horse blanket, $5 bill with the V, and there's the reverse. These things are, I had it upside down. These things, if it was a paper bill, they're very, very collectible, very extremely expensive. And then I admitted earlier that I almost didn't want to let anybody know about this, Scott, but I think I said this before you got here. He sent us a 1972 uncirculated set in the original Treasury envelope, and it has the P and D still in the cellophane, and you guys can see the condition of these coins. Look at the pennies. I mean, look how, yeah, you probably heard my sweetie just now say pennies, but look at the quarters. Look at, there's 3 pennies, PD and S. You got 2 $50. They're not silver. There's no silver in here, but 72, you've got some possibility of some bonus time in there, with some of the 72s being very desirable. And quite a few of those coins are probably in gradable condition too. And they're not cheap. 72 sets are not like the 71s, for example. You're going to pay more for a 72 than you will for a 70 or 71 if you try to buy one. So all of that is one drawing, one giveaway this week. We're not doing choice 1, choice 2. It's the whole thing. There's Scott's gift, his thank you to all of you, and us as well. But this is his thank you to all of you guys. And this is our normal weekly drawing. We decided we wanted to put that on there and just make it an even better drawing than normal, and just, you know, have a lot of fun, and then have the conversation. Don't mess with opening, you know, rolls of nickels or quarters or $50 or whatever, and kind of cover this crazy week that's been going on. Coins Inc. come up. Everybody will be putting enter or entry, which is what you'll need to do. And yes, the entries go in increments of 5. They go beyond $25. We've had 50, 100. I think the record was 250 if I remember right, but I'm going blank right now. Hoogie's Hobbies, welcome. 92 likes. All is one now. $5, one entry. Thank you. All is one. And so here we're going to try and get to the end of this discussion because we're getting real close to where all of a sudden there's going to be no discussion. It's going to be enter and entry. So the curveball is this. On the one hand, if the coins come out and they're silver, that's great because then everybody's going to want to buy them, right? But if they have 2 million of them, they're silver, how much value are they going to have a year, 2 years, 5 years from now? Are they going to be as collectible as some of the other coins that are out there that are low mintage? So if they came out as a manganese and everybody hated them and they didn't buy them, like some of the metals and other presidential coins that have come out with extremely low mintages, some of them around 5,000, those things are really expensive if you try to buy one. Then you throw my sweetie's question in, well, what about clad? The quarters were clad. Well, what if they come out clad? So which it's one of those things where you sit there and if you really kind of try and pull it apart in your head, you go, okay, it would be cool if they're silver because then I can buy them all and collect them all. And that's what we do. We collect coins, right? But what about gold? For something like this, gold would put it out of most of the average person's reach in the size of a dollar coin, if you think about it, because they probably would have to make it a $10 or $20, $10 or $20, $10 or $25 gold coin to make it that size. It's supposed to be a dollar coin. So if it's a dollar face value, it would be hard. SJ's Mixed Adventures, $10. I'm in it to win it. Thank you, SJ. 2 entries for SJ's. Good luck. Bill Betts is already starting to put enter. Mary Love is putting enter. A little bit too soon, but you never know. So I'm going to try and finish the point. Think about in your head, if it's silver, obviously we're all going to buy them. If it's clad or manganese, it's 100 already. Wow. So what's the verdict?
We have to go back.
Let's see. All right, hang on, guys. It went so fast that it flew off the screen. So okay. Oh, dang it. I'm having trouble here with this one. Well, and hang on. It's back. Damn it. You try and do that. I got a problem I got to deal with. Some of you guys were here a couple weeks ago will know what I'm talking about. And now my computer is acting up. Ah, crap. Excuse us for a second, folks. We will catch up with this with both situations. You can stop saying enter and entry. We've got the winner. We'll announce it here in a second, but I have a problem that has come back again. We thought we had solved it a few weeks ago, but I'm having trouble because everybody's hitting enter and entry and it's blasting it off the screen. Darn it, come on, man. Sorry, folks, bear with me a sec. Yes, yes, that's what I'm going for, and go ahead. Yeah. So we got a bunch of folks that came in. I'm seeing them in the stream here as I'm trying to solve this problem. I think that between myself and Sweetie that we both got it, but if anybody else sees it again, let us know. There's some new folks that popped up during the enter entry thing. It went by so fast. Crappie King.
Excuse me.
What are you doing, Sweetie? I'm trying to catch up.
I don't need to.
Okay. I'm not driving anymore. Hang on a second. Oh, we still didn't announce.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. With the fire we had to put out, we didn't catch. All right. So the winner of the free entry is Jim Whitaker. What are you showing me that for? Is it time?
No. Never mind.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yes, you are completely off. That's okay.
Yeah. Between the spam attack and the
I have to have his name.
uh, Jim Whitaker right there. Yeah. So Jim, congratulations. You got the free entry. You're welcome. Let's see. Yeah, I lost a whole bunch of you guys when that happened. So I apologize. I didn't lose you entirely. It just, the focus went to trying to put that fire out. The folks that are new, we had a troll come by a couple weeks ago that was very bad and using terms and language that we don't allow on this channel because it's a family channel, and changed to alternate identities at least 6 or 7 times. And myself, my wife, we're blocking, we're reporting harassment, viewers on the stream, we're reporting to YouTube, and apparently YouTube hasn't done anything about this person because they're back. And they came right when the 100 came. So to me, the priority was to wipe out that person as quickly as possible and then deal with the 100. So I hope you guys are good with that. All right, so now, time to rent that backhoe. Yeah, no kid, man. Cement shoes. Let's see. It is almost 9 o'clock. We've gotten to 100. We've given away the free entry to the drawing. We've covered the conversation. Is there anything anybody else has that we were talking about in the conversation when I was throwing that curveball out there? Anybody got anything they want to throw in there about the new coin that we aren't thinking about here? Yeah, I know. I already said hi to Heidi. Yeah, that's all right. Coin crazy. New coin should be silver. Yeah, a couple folks have said that. I agree. I'd like to see it silver, on the one hand, but on the other hand, don't know 5 years from now which is going to be more valuable or more collectible. I can stack silver, but which one's going to be more collectible and hold more value? Ken, I got to take off. Good luck, folks. Stay groovy. Take it easy, Ken. I know he's got to get ready for his big show. He comes on after us in about a half an hour. So if you guys stick around, catch him. Excuse me. Of course, you'll have to go to his channel. He starts around 9:30. 57 bucks. Sorry, man. If we got to 150, we would do another one, but we're not going to get there. Z Squared, $20 on PayPal. Thank you, Z Squared. Alan Tiffany, okay, sterling silver. Yeah, there you go, man. Let's see, Lauren, what are your concerns if there are going to be any other issues with pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters? The interesting thing, that's a good question, Lauren, because the interesting thing was that in the bill, or in the, not in the bill, in the legislation and the original information that came out before the mint made an official announcement on the dollar coin, they talked about the committee that meets all the time. And if you go to the US Mint website, you can actually pull up the committee. It's called the CCAC, I believe. And you can actually pull up their minutes and see what they're talking about doing. And what they were talking about at the same time was apparently we're looking at getting new coinage and possibly new money in 2020. when the quarter program ends. So it could be new materials. It could be, the clad goes away, the coins, the pennies and nickels could go away. We don't know, but there was a reference in there about new, other new forms of money replacing money we currently have effectively around 2020. So that's only like a year away, year and a half away. So there's a whole lot of stuff. There's been a lot of rumors about a lot of different things. So that's a really, really good question. What's the latest issue of Cherry Picker's Guide? Is it volume 6? I think so. It's a couple of years old. And God, I'm gonna draw a blank. The sweet gentleman that is the main owner author of that, if you will, actually sold it about a year ago. We were talking to him about that time, and he said that he was stepping aside and selling it. JT Stanton. Bill had passed away, I believe, and JT had decided to sell the book. So I believe, if I remember right, I think Mr. Potter might be involved in the new partnership, but I'm not sure whether they're going to keep the name or what's going on. But that would be the most current. So, okay. Those of you that are regulars know that when I stop and do this one, this is the one that gets always interesting. Is the penny going to go in 2020? It's possible. We don't know. We don't know what they mean by new money in 2020. We have a PayPal donation, and it says, "Good evening, JB Coins. Great discussion on the new $1 coin. $20 donation for the channel. $5 entry for Tony Perez. $5 entry for Mark Cardwell. $5 entry for Z Squared, and $5 entry for John Francis. Total donation $40. Thank you for all your knowledge and great videos. Much love to you guys. Anonymous." Did it again. Thank you so very much, Anonymous. Sorry, I have a plastic bottle of water and it crunched. So, several of you just got your own entries. So in 2020, we're going to see some major changes. If you remember, there was all the big hoopla about Andrew Jackson being replaced by Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. That was supposed to happen in 2020. There's some speculation that we may wind up seeing some of the paper money go to the same type of polymer money that they used in other countries, like the Russian notes that we just showed on one of our videos that were sent to us by Monetka. 25 Mandabear, $25 on Super Chat. Thank you, 25 Mandabear. That's 5 entries. Stephen, will it have edge lettering? Yes, it says in there that they will have edge lettering. It says, and let me see if I can pull it up real fast. Shoot, come on. Trying to get this old computer to give me, I'm looking at the Mint press release real quick while we're talking. It will have the Statue of Liberty, the inscriptions of the $1, the dollar sign and the number 1, and "In God We Trust" on the obverse. The reverse will have the individual state, and the edge inclusion will have "E Pluribus Unum" and the other, the date, mint mark, that type of thing. So that doesn't look like that's going to change. That sounds like that's gonna pretty much hold. They've been following that pattern on a lot of coins, and I don't see them changing that right now. But they're talking about 2020 possibly, and this has been a date that's been tossed around, like I say, since Obama was president, 4 or 5 years ago. New Mylars for the money to replace the paper money, possibly aluminum coinage, possibly some other metal coinage, possibly getting away with the nickel and the penny like Canada has done. There are also pushes to go to cashless society long term, like some countries have already done that are 95% cashless. But right now the EU is kind of coming apart, and now countries are going away from the EU and starting to produce their old currencies again. So it's a real interesting time right now to see what's going on and whether or not, let's see, Alan Tiffany, England replaced the £1 coin and demonetized the old one, counterfeiting. Replaced the £1 coin. They demonetized the old one because of counterfeiting, or they consider the old one counterfeiting? If you could explain that one, that would be great.
And can you remind us what current?
Oh, okay. Also, we got an email or a message. It was a message.
Comments.
Oh, comment? Sorry. Doing this on the fly. So we got a comment from Spooter Doggy, and it looks like about 3 days ago. Hi, JB. 3 items have my attention about the new dollar coin. California, the mint responding to the public like a business, and the composition of the new dollar. Not in that order. Number 1, I think if the new dollar was made out of silver, it would be a hit. Who wants to look at those manganese-colored coins? It's okay for circulation, but not intended for circulation coins. It would suck. Number 2, if the mint and the government would consider asking us collectors what they want, what they like and want, then I think there would not be bullion coins, and it cuts off there. So I'm not really sure what the end of his point was there, but it does raise a good point. They've got this committee, for example, that approves the designs of the coins. They approved, for example, the World War I designs. That was a big, lot of press releases about that. And about that time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Hall of Fame basketball player from the 60s and 70s, was added to that committee. I don't know whether he's a coin collector or not, or some sort of art aficionado, or what his qualifications were for being on that committee, other than the fact that he was Kareem. Well, just recently, he announced that he was resigning immediately and no longer going to be part of the committee. Why? Nobody knows. So his spot's open. But what qualifies people for them to be on that committee other than political contacts, being famous, or whatever? And let's see. And hey, Pause, welcome, man. And it's, let's see, Stephen, you say state has to do with the state. You say state, it has to do with the state. Yeah, it's each state is going to work with this committee to decide what person from their state should be on the coin as the biggest innovator, or the most important innovator in the history of that state, I would think. But for example, the state of Illinois, could you see Abraham Lincoln on there? Sure. Could you see Oprah Winfrey on there? Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends. If it's left to just to the state legislatures and to this committee and not to the general public, who knows what we're going to wind up with. Wow. $50 on PayPal from Vicky Cardwell. Thank you, Vicky. That is 10 entries. Yeah, that could be Mrs. That could be Mrs. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Same last name. Thank you so much. Pause. How are all of my favorite numismatists in the world? Thank you, Pause. You missed an interesting night. You're going to definitely want to go back and watch the rewind on this when it becomes a video, because It happened again, and it's a very interesting night. The drawing tonight is awesome. Um, Alan, new security on new pound coin. Yeah, I noticed they've been doing that on a lot of the new coins. The Britannia we did about that, and the Queen's Beast, I believe also they did that. Those are awesome. Let's see. Yeah, we're at 111. I don't know if we're going to get to 150 before we do the drawing, but I'm going to rehash the drawing one more time here because it's two drawings in one, basically. For those of you guys that got here late, we had decided we were going to do and it got real dark in here, so I got to push this over this way. We were going to do a $2, 2013. I've been saying it all night, but all of a sudden my brain went blank. 2013 Federal Reserve note, $2 that we took out of a strap, brand new issue, and it's got the signing of the Declaration of Independence on the reverse, like any other $2 bill issued today, okay? And it's crisp. We got it. We put it in the protector. We also are doing a 63 series red seal, and that is a United States note. Now, some of the U.S. notes are godless notes, some of them are large bills, and some of them are this. They can be a red or blue seal. There's lots of variations. This one has Monticello on the back. It doesn't have the Declaration of Independence on the back. So that was where we started. We started doing that. And then we threw in what's referred to as the 71 Blue Ike. It comes in the blue envelope. It's 40% silver. It's in the original packaging. It's got the little blue disc, and it's a 71S 40% silver Ike with the moon landing on the reverse. Then we got a thank you letter from Scott Lockard, who those of us that have been around have been trying to help him and his grandma recover from grandma's stroke. Scott's working his butt off and being a hell of a man stepping up. And he sent us the thank you letter, but he also sent us something to add to the drawing as a thank you to you folks for everything that you guys have done for him and grandma. The first is a copper round from APMEX, 1 ounce, and it's George Washington in a nightcap or playing Santa Claus on one side. Very cool. And on the back side, it's a snowflake. That's a very pretty coin. The other is a bar, 1 ounce, and it's got the reproduction of the $5 horse blanket bill with the V and the name 5 on there. Which the real paper money is extremely rare and valuable if you try to buy one of those. And then this little beauty, a 1972 set, uncirculated from the Treasury in the original envelope with all the packing from the mint, and the cellophane's in here, and these coins are just absolutely smoking. And you'll notice there's 2 pennies on this one. It's because there's PD&S. Now, there's no silver in here, but if you look at the condition of these coins, like that quarter up in the corner, these things sell for more than the ones that have silver in them, okay? The 72. There are dates in here that could have errors and varieties. And Crappie King, $5 on Super Chat. Thank you, Crappie King. Lincoln's here. How you doing, man? Welcome. Jean-Luc, welcome. And so anyway, the 72s have some errors and varieties to look for, but the coins that are in there themselves are in such beautiful condition that at least several of them are probably gradable, and could get some pretty decent grades actually on a couple. So yeah, there was a certain amount of temptation to say, hey, let's look through these and at the very least tell Scott if we found anything. We didn't even get a chance to look at them, in all honesty. I got as far as looking up to see what might be in there, but I never actually got to look under the microscope to see whether any of those things exist in that envelope. So anything's possible with that envelope, man. Robert Johnson, Super Chat, $15. Thank you, Robert. 118 likes. Wow, we're getting there. Pretty soon she's going to call last call, and then that'll be the last chance, basically, just like last call. It'll be where we start winding towards the actual drawing. She's putting in all these entries that folks are calling in. She's putting those into the computer software so that we'll have that at the end where it will pick the winner. We'll review all the names and the number of entries they have to make sure we don't miss anybody. We'll do that right on camera. And then once we know that everybody's accounted for, then we'll let the computer go ahead and pick the winner of all this good stuff. In the meantime, at some point, she will call last call. You can still throw an entry down right up to the point that we start reading those names. And then it's kind of unfair because then we got to stop and go back and enter the new person and all that. But up to the point that we start reading those names, you can still throw down an entry if you want to, if you have a last minute urge to do it. But otherwise, that's how it works. Nothing more complicated than that. Brandy Baldwin, hey J&B, sorry I missed your first half. Busy moving furniture, glad to see y'all. Welcome, Brandy. Yeah, you missed, like we said to pause when he got here a little while ago. Ron, welcome. I don't know if I said hi earlier, I'm sorry. Robert, same to you. It's been a crazy night tonight. We knew it was going to be different, but you know, we we had some uninvited entertainment again. So we think we caught it. We think we caught it fairly quickly, but it kind of stretched things out a little bit. And I'm still, I think, about 3 steps behind where I would normally be. But anyway, I think we've explained it all enough. How it works. We've covered the discussion about the $1 coins. It's going to be real interesting to see what changes between now and when the coins come out the first of the year, or when the first one with the very first patent signed by George Washington, which is slated to come out the end of 2018, but they haven't given a month or anything like that yet. And so we don't know. We don't know what metal it is. We don't know what size it is, if it'll be the same size as the dollar coin, whether it be larger or smaller. All those things are in play. We know certain things, and some of it in our video that we took from the law has changed, and some of it is in the press release at the U.S. Mint, which we have a link to on our website, jbcoinsinc.com, and some of it has changed since then. So until the coins actually physically start to appear, I'm not sure that we can count on anything, whether or not they're going to be silver clad or manganese, what size they're going to be, and all that. Last call, okay. Last call, says my sweetie. So she's going to tally up all the names back there, and if anybody wants to throw down a last minute entry, now's your chance. We're at 123 on the likes. Mohawk Joe's wanting us to go to 150. You got only a few minutes because we don't want to run into Ken's time. He's only about 10 minutes from starting. Corrigan, hi, welcome. Pause entry. Yeah. We will be, once she gets caught up on all the entries there, there we go, 25 Mandabear, another $5. Thank you for the additional entry. Does NF String and Son filter out silver coins? Our experience with NF String, those are some of the best wrappers to get. We used to get a lot of silver and a lot of really good pennies out of the NF String rolls. The coins seem to be in better condition. The Loomis rolls that we get, we really don't like. We can't trust them, whether they're a solid roll, for example. When the 2017 Ps and the 2018 came out in pennies, we opened a couple rolls and there were like 1972 in there, something like that. I don't know how Loomis does that, but it's just, I've never had that with an NF String roll. So I prefer theirs. Steven, you're stuck on that chopping down the cherry tree thing, man. Cheryl, check PayPal, please. Okay, she's getting that. Let's see. Robert's buffering and SJ's not. So every week somebody's got it. That's why we use her computer, by the way, as I mentioned, because sometimes somebody's buffering, sometimes it's us that's buffering. And, you know, this week we're getting a good strong signal here, which is nice. Let's see. Hey, Lincoln. Oh, man. Rick, welcome. Hi, JNB. Hope you're having a great day. Having a great day, man. Hope you are too. If you just got here, a couple of you, this is one of those live streams you're going to want to watch after it becomes a video when they finish processing it, which usually takes a few minutes to anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, you know, 2 hours sometimes, depending on when we go long like this. But it's been an interesting one. The stuff on the table, if you want to win something, that stuff is definitely stuff that you want to win. And we already got last call, and she's putting in Cheryl, and I'll announce Cheryl here. Cheryl did $20 on PayPal. Thank you, Cheryl. So that's 4 entries for Cheryl. And I think, did she have? No. Okay, not this week. It was some other folks. Lincoln, I always watch your videos at JNB. Thank you, Lincoln. We really appreciate that, man. Let's see. So we should be pretty close. She's got to add Cheryl's, and then we'll move the furniture here a little bit and put the laptop down and do that. Let's see. How much is a gold-plated $50 stamped 1960 to 85 on it? Whatever somebody on eBay is willing to pay for it as a novelty, basically, because it's still a $50. Depending on the year it was issued, whether or not it was silver underneath. If it was a 60, well, it wouldn't. Yeah, it could be a 60. If it was a 1960 $50, it would be silver underneath, so 90% silver, and then probably 24 karat gold plating on top. It was probably someone's 25th anniversary. Usually companies did that stuff. They still sell those. There's a couple of companies that sell little boxes of made-up sets and things and gold-plated coins. So it's something you have to put it on eBay or whatever and try and see what you can get for it. There are people that still buy them because it is still 24 karat gold usually on the outside, and depending on the year on the inside of the coin, if it's pre-silver or post-silver, it's either a clad under the gold or it's silver under the gold. So did I win? I don't know. We're waiting. Mine is 72. If it's a $50 and it's a 72, no, it's clad. So it's you're just going to get whatever somebody's willing to pay for the novelty of it, or if those dates mean something to them. Mallory's going to Ken's after anybody else. Okay, we're time here. So ready to put this on the table and do the drawing, because we got to get this done and get out of the way of Ken. Mallory, did you get the package we sent you? Let's see. What do you got? Okay. This way? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. How are we doing on the screen? Because I can't see the screen, sweetie. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So go all the way to the top. And this is, I'm going to read off the names I'll read slower than I usually do. If we missed you or we have the wrong quantity, you're going to have to shout out on the stream, let us know, and we will make the correction before we hit the drawing. Jonathan Smelko, 1 entry. Michael Zimbicki, 3. Edwina Cornish, 2. Paula Blum, 4. Carl Haag, 2. Julie C, 4. Mallory, 1. Anna Hutchinson, 2. Bill Betts, 1. Karen St. Singh, 2. Tony Corser, 4. All is 1 now, 1. SJ, 2. Jim Whitaker, 1. Z Squared, 5. Tony Perez, 1. Mark Cardwell, 1. John Francis, 1. 25 Mandabear, 5. Vicky Cardwell, is that 10?
Yes.
10. Crappie King, 1. Robert Johnson, 3. Cheryl Busman, 4. Z square, mine should be 4.
One was free from anonymous.
Oh, so it was separate from the other ones?
No. He got 4, but from himself, and 1 was from liberation from.
Oh, so that's how you got to 5.
Yes.
You got to 5 because Anonymous had bought you one. So you bought 4 and Anonymous bought you one. So you have 5. So it sounds like we're good to go. I'll give it a couple seconds here in case we missed something. Otherwise, we're going to hit the select them button. I'm not seeing anything, and it's getting close to 9:30, so let's see what happens. Good luck to everybody. Thanks for coming and participating. Let's see who the winner is. Paula Blum. Congratulations, Paula. Thank you, everybody, for participating and coming and putting up with the earlier entertainment. And Paula, you got a week to get us your mailing information to jbcoinsinc@gmail.com, like everybody else. Send us your name, address, where you want us to mail this to, and we will get it out in the mail to you. If you don't claim it by Saturday, you forfeit it and it goes into the drawing for new subscribers. Again, thanks to everybody that came, and Ken should be starting in the next minute or two. So appreciate everyone. Thanks again for coming. We got 127 likes tonight. It's been an awesome night. Everybody stay safe, enjoy, and thanks for the conversation. And until next time, J and B signing off.